Oh boy, the day is here. I never thought this shit was happening. Yakuza Kiwami 3 has been announced. Trailers are out. It got leaked, but it had that. I still had that sliver of doubt because it just felt like this was never happening. Kiwami 2 is so long ago, and Yakuza 3 is number one in my heart with this series. Has a ton of issues, blah blah blah. I made a video on it. You should check out where I go over all this. But it was the first one I ever played, and I revisited it, reviewed it. Still a big fan. So I've got a lot riding on this remake, and I am cautiously optimistic.
You slippery bastard! What the hell is wrong with you? Dodging every fucking thing all the fucking time!
Now, on the surface level, it looks good. The quality of life updates excite me. Changing clothes. There's a ton of side content being added. All the modern day entries of this series tend to be this 60 plus hour experience. Way longer if you want to do everything. I've gotten over 100 hours in Infinite Wealth and Yakuza 0, which is even still some time ago. So I can see they're doing everything they can to try to give this one the same treatment that's been expected of these titles. And what I do like from, at least where I can see from most of that content, is that it does tie into the story mode. It's not just like, we're going to throw these silly modes in here. Like 2, they threw in like Clan Creator. Like they throw stuff in to try to pad it out sometimes. And with this, you get the stuff with the orphanage, building connections with kids, gardening, catching bugs with him, whatever the fuck. You can go bowling again. Oh my god, bowling. Gotta love bowling. But I'm glad that it ties in and it's not just, like an Infinite Wealth. We're doing the whole Animal Crossing island thing. And not if you liked it, that's cool. It just seems like at some point we're starting to get a little less and less connected to the main story, and we're just throwing content in there just to do it. I like having the content, but it's much better if you can actually fit it into the story and the plot overall. Very curious, I have to say, very curious if the racism sub story will stay in. There's like 120 sub stories in the original Yakuza 3. Granted, a lot of them are really short, one note, brief interaction things, but I'm curious if that one's going to make the cut. I hope so. I hope they leave it in. I do have concerns, though. I can't just pump fake and act like I love everything I'm seeing. The big red flag everyone has agreed on so far is some of the faces have been changed. Now, this has happened in the past with Tanamura and the remaster of 4 because his actor was doing cocaine or whatever the hell happened there. I don't know. We've got 3 faces changed here, Riki, Hamazaki, and Nakahara. Regardless of what happened with the original voice actors, I do think this is unfortunate, just no matter what. It does take a little something away because it's just not quite how you remember it. And Hamazaki had an incredible bad guy face, and Rikia's funny ass hair. I can never forget those guys. Nakahara, his is kind of the most forgivable, but the other two, Hamazaki, it's really going to be hard to get past that. And apparently, his new voice actor. He doesn't have allegations against him. He's got facts against him. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why they settled on this guy. If there was some controversy, I don't know, brother, but we're stuck with it, so we'll just figure it out. My biggest fears though is changes to the actual story beyond how the characters look. On one hand, I think they did wonders with uplifting the story of Yakuza 1 with Kiwami, getting Nishiki's backstory, fleshing him out a little more. Why did he turn so sour? How did he develop that vicious man spread? That was all great stuff, but more recently, Yakuza 0, the director's cut, came out with these retcons and just a bunch of needless bullshit. Nobody can ever die. We gotta save everyone, and surely there's content to fix in 3 story. There's no denying it. There are dumb plot points. The CIA stuff. It's the twin. It's dumb. It's dumb. I know there's stuff to fix. I just think it's a slippery slope to fuck with stuff because then we're gonna start bringing people back to the life, and then death has no weight again, and it's an issue with the series going on forward. And it's a thin line. This is a thin line. I'll let you know when I feel like I've been wronged when we get to the game, but I just let's not get a little too wild here, okay? Let's have some restraint, let some people stay dead. You can try to clean up the giant exposition dump in the middle of the story. That'd be nice. Just let's not go too wild. Now, Dark Ties. Let's get into Dark Ties. Didn't expect this coming. Full on expansion starring as Mine. This is almost surreal for me, given that back in 2010, 15 years ago, I was some portly boy online trying to find fans of this game, and when I did, a common sentiment among people was just being huge fans of this Mine character, and we got to see him again in Ishin, but now he's getting his own expansion. This is like a dream back in 2010, This is fan service that you didn't expect. So it's fan service that appeals directly to me. Definitely excited. More Conda as well. You know, I have personal investment in that. And this story, this series as a whole, really was always ripe for story DLC. I felt, you know, the Kato Files is the only one who ever really got. Always found that odd. You have the base plate, you reuse assets all the time. I don't know. And with Mine's style, he does look cool. I like his punches. I like the way he bounces off of people. So we can get into the combat. The original Yakuza 3 has a huge reputation for being Blockuza 3. It's really hard to get around opponents. You got to dance around them, grab them from the back of the neck, figure it out. When I last played it, I didn't have a ton of issues. There were some frustrating moments, but I can acknowledge that most people don't like it. It's unpopular. If fixing this shit makes it more accessible for people out there, no complaints at all. Do what you gotta do. I'm curious of this second style they give in Kiryu, where he uses weapons that's based off of some sort of Okinawa fighting style. All right, why not? I'll give it a shot. It's optional. You can only use one fighting style if you want. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So cautiously optimistic. Are you? You know, seems like people are over the moon about this beyond the face changes. If they really want to win my heart, though, they'd have to mail me a copy of that Yakuza branded PlayStation 3 from back in the day. Just saying. Tell me what you think, though. Were you honestly just hoping for a new Judgment instead? I know some of you were. Be honest, though. All right. I love you. Goodbye.